Hello and welcome to another Watch Report video review. My name is James Stacy and today we're taking a look at the Seiko 5 Sports SNZF45. This is one of the new 100-meter divers that Seiko has released, kind of a pseudo diver sport watch. It carries some of the styling that's been so popular with the Seiko Monster lineup, and it really is a compelling watch at a really good price point. So let's take a closer look and see how it holds up. Here's the Seiko SNZF45, up a little closer. What you'll get in this is a 43mm all stainless steel case. It's a very chunky design, 12.5mm tall, so it's pretty easy to wear in that respect. You get an all stainless steel bracelet. It's fitted with push pins. You get a diver style push button clasp, no dive extension. And thanks to the style of the lugs on the watch, it's actually a solid end link because it's just a straight link. Nothing all that complex, and a nice simple watch given the price point. The crystal is made out of Hardlex, which is Seiko's answer to like a mineral crystal. It's very clear. I would say it'll work just as well as sapphire up until the point where you give it a really good hard hit. It's not going to be as scratch resistant as sapphire, but it should be more shatter resistant, as I believe that the Hardlex is not as brittle. This model is not a true diver. This is one that Seiko's made to be very reminiscent of some of the SKX divers that have been nicknamed the Monsters, but you don't get a screw down crown, and the overall water resistance is only 100 meters, and really divers start at 200 meters and have a screw down crown. Otherwise, at $135 you save roughly $70 off the price of an SKX 779, which has been nicknamed the Black Monster, or an SKX 781, which is the Orange Monster. What you get in the Monster that you won't get in the SNZF range is the bezel is not as nice on these as it is on the Monster. It's a very light action, and you can tell it's not so much a clicking sound as like a weird thud. It just... I don't like it. It jumps from one setting to another, and I've had problems getting it to actually meet its mark. As you can see, it goes right past. This isn't an issue I have with other bezels that have a somewhat tighter action or a better grip on the edge. Personally, I really like the bezel on the SKX 007. It's a loud, clicky, sure-footed bezel with a good grip, and I think it kind of sets the standard for watches at this price. Along with the bezel, you don't get the same movement as what comes in the SKX lineup. So these use a newer, the 7S36, so no hacking, no hand winding. It's a non-screw down crown. The action's excellent. It's very strong, excellent stem. But as you can see, as I wind the time back and forth, the second hand doesn't stop, and you can actually advance it backwards by putting some back pressure on the crown. So we're not looking at a really high-end movement here. It's more of a workhorse movement. It should be very reliable and require little to no service for a very long intervals in its life. You can get it to hold the second hand to match it with a time if you want to keep as good time as possible. I found this example to run about the same as the 7S26 movements I have in some SKX models. About plus 12, plus 15 seconds a day on a winder or on the wrist. If you leave it on a desk or a nightside table or in a case overnight, the variation starts to get a little higher. It can run a little slow in that setting. So you get a simple movement, not a great bezel. I mean, it's a perfectly functional bezel. It just isn't as nice as what Seiko has in some of the other models. But at $135, you're getting some savings, and you still get this nice bracelet, which I'll show you. So the bracelet, as I said, is a push pin design. So it's simple. It's a solid set. You get solid end links. It's a fold-over clasp. It's just stamped metal. No dive extension, as again, this really isn't a diver's watch. You do get some micro extensions, which are really, really nice to have that micro adjustment set into the bracelet clasp. And you don't get a lot of rattle or sound, and it gives you the same style as what comes on the SKX Monster lines. This isn't as nice as the bracelets that come on the Monsters, but that's just my preference. Those bracelets have a great reputation as being very nice. So what we'll do now is we'll just give it a charge up for the Lume, and we'll take a look at how well it glows. Okay, so after a couple of blasts of the flash from my camera, you can see that it glows very brightly. So what you're looking at on the SNZF is very much the same hand and marker set that you get on the SKX779 or 781 monsters. It carries the exact same lume. It's super bright. It lasts well through the night, well through a movie. No issue at all with the lume. It is in every way the Seiko standard, and what people have come to love about the SKX lineup, Seiko has embedded in this more entry-level model, which is great. It's very bright and it lasts without issue throughout the night. It has a nice color, and I think it works beautifully with the white dial and the black chapter ring. Really is a nice looking watch with a lot of wrist presence. So the big question with a model like the SNZF, it's part of the Seiko 5 sports model range, so it's not really a dive watch, it's more of a sport watch. And the big question is if you're going to spend you're going to save the $70, is it worth the savings? For me, if you really want the white dial, or if your budget's locked somewhere around $150, get this, or there's models with an orange dial, a black dial. There's an all black model that looks very nice. This is personally our favorite, the white model, which is the 45. If you can stretch your budget to $200, go ahead and get yourself a black or an orange monster. They have a better bezel, and they have the screw down crown. They have a slightly different, if you look at the photos on our review, they have a different case, and I rather like the styling of the monster case a bit better than the Seiko 5 model. They come with a better bracelet, but for that you pay a really easy to determine price of about an additional $70 to $80. This has been our video review of the Seiko SNZF45. Great watch, $135, available online, and you get this smart white dial. Great Seiko lume, trustworthy movement, and in every way just a nice simple watch that you could wear every day. Thanks very much for watching. Please follow Watch Report on Twitter, @WatchReport, or check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/WatchReport. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.